This time? Okay.
All right.
أي واحدة والصلاة والسلام على من لا نبي بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. We're gonna start today with the Battle of Khaybar. Battle of Khaybar is about took place about 2 weeks after Hudaybiyah when they returned from Hudaybiyah. So it was not a long time then. Khaybar is a place about two. Khaybar, maybe I should first say that Khaybar is one of the is the last Jewish tribe that was staying in Khaybar. The other Jewish tribe that was expelled already from Medina in the surroundings was, of course, Banu Qaynuqa, was the first Jewish tribe that was expelled just after Badr when they insulted the Muslim to say if you were fighting with proper men, you would have been defeated. So that was the first instance. So the Banu Qaynuqa, the smaller tribe, that was expelled, and after that the Banu Nadir, when after Uhud, Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam went to visit them, as you can remember maybe. Then they told Nabi to sit at the bottom of the fortress, and they want to throw a rock down on Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. But then Jibril came and informed Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam that they want to throw it. So Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam told all his Sahabas and left. And the last time we spoke, the last tribe was Banu Qurayza. They was active, or they spied on the Muslim, or they were treacherous during the Battle of Khandak, when they make the trench around it, and the people from Banu Khaybar, the Banu Nadir was expelled to Khaybar. So they head of the tribe, Huway bin Akhtab, he's the father of Shafiya, one of the people that Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam going to marry later on. So he came to them, and of course they tried to fight the Muslim from beginning. And when Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam went out to the fortress, they were expelled also after a small battle. So that were the three tribes that was already expelled from Medina. And the other tribe was Khaybar. Khaybar was about north of Medina. It's about 230 kilometers, they say, from Medina. But Khaybar it's not a city; it was a fortress, and they had vast lands of agricultural land. In terms of Medina had very good soil. Medina was a big city, and that land was. But the Khaybar people, they had vast tracts of land, vast tracts of agricultural land. But they had 8 fortresses on which they stayed. So after about, as I said, after 2 weeks after Hudaybiyah, Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam got the instruction that they must move to Khaybar. He took about 1,700 men with him. And the people from Khaybar, as they were conflicted or they were treacherous during Banu Qurayza and they helped stuff, so they were the last sort of threat to Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. But they didn't expect that they will be attacked. After that. So Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam left Medina with 1,700 men and reached Khaybar. And then he started attacking them before Fajr. Now they start moving. They were outside the city. So just after Fajr, they start moving towards Khaybar. And when the people from Khaybar saw that the Muslims are coming, they said, "Oh, they're the people from Muhammad coming." So they all rush inside their fortresses. And the fortresses fell one after the other. It takes about two to 3 days, sometimes even more, for each fortresses. So the fortresses were spread across. So there were 2 basic sides. The fortresses was not near each other, but in a seeing distance from each other. But there were on 2 sides of Khaybar. On the one side was about 4 fortresses, and the other side was another 4 or 5 fortresses. So as these fortresses fall one after the other, so they reached the last fortress at one fortress just after Isha. Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam made an announcement that someone from the group of the Muslim will take the flag and they will move forward and they will conquer and they will win. So after Sayyidina Umar was recalled to say that he wished he would have been that person. But the next morning after Fajr, Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, Ali ibn Abu Talib, will be the flag bearer, and then they will go forward. And Nabi Sallallahu said, when he gives the flag to the person, he must not look back. He just move forward and fight the people. So, so on that morning, the Nabi Sallallahu announced that it will be Sayyidina Ali that will be the flag bearer. So, but they could not find Sayyidina Ali. Someone said that Sayyidina Ali got an eye infection, sort of. Nabi Sallallahu said, go and fetch him. And he blow into the eye of Sayyidina Ali, and it got cured. So that was a minor karamat, sort of a miracle that Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam performed. So when Sayyidina Ali was ready, he took the flag, then he stalled for a minute. But Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said not to turn back. You have to walk straight. So he stopped, and he said, what should I tell the people when I come there? So Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, if you get to the people of Khaybar, tell them they must surrender, and then we will not fight them. If they do not surrender, then we will fight them. So now, so after Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, the first big fortress, because their food supply was dwindling also. So the Muslim had to make very quick on it and conquer the whole of Khaybar. So they ended up that one of the people from that fortress came out and want to fight Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, to fight Sayyidina Ali. So one of the Sahabas went forward. I can't remember his name now. So he was killed. So usually when a commander is in charge, he's not the person that go into fight. He just have to organize his crowd or his soldiers. But Sayyidina Ali went forward and he started fighting with this person from Khaybar. And at one stage, and he killed this person. So and the fighting went on and on. And during that fight, there's one of the more famous stories from the Seerah also, that when he put up his shield for somebody, then the shield got broken. And Sayyidina Ali went up to the fortress. And as you know, fortresses are in the movies and stuff like that. It's massive things. And in any case, as I think I mentioned it a few times also, the Muslims from that time, they didn't have fortresses. The only people that built fortresses were the Jews. And the Jews was not originally from Yathrib, from Medina. So there's a lot of stories from where the Jews from Saudi Arabia is coming from. So one of maybe the most famous source, or the people said that they were the descendants of Nabi Musa alayhi salam. So about 100 years before the Common Era, they were forced into moving down south, and they moved into the area of Yemen. So they stayed at Yemen, and after a while they came back. Because the people of Yemen at that stage, they had a civilization. They had big fortresses, they had a language, they had a culture, they could read and write and all that type of stuff. The people from central Hijaz, Makkah and Medina, they had a culture, but there was not a civilization in place. So as you can see, so the building of the fort of the Muslims of Central Arabia never built. People from Makkah and Medina, they never built fortresses. So the idea of the fortresses came from the people from Yemen. And the Yemenis, as I said when I started the talk of Nabi Sallallahu of the talk of the Seerah, the Yemen people were the original inhabitants of Saudi Arabia, as we know it now. During that time, it was called Hijaz, Hijiz, Hijaz. That was the area known as Saudi Arabia as we know it now. So they were the original inhabitants of Saudi Arabia. And I think I said that's a long time ago now, but there were two original tribes from Saudi Arabia: the Qahtan, that is the people or the original people from Yemen, from Saudi Arabia. Then you get Adnan, the tribe, the Adnanites and the Qahtanites. The Qahtan were the people originally from Hijaz, and the Adnan were the Arabs. So as you know, Nabi Ibrahim came from Palestine. When he came to Mecca to build the Kaaba, he was not there from Saudi Arabia itself. So Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, his lineage is not Arab, initial Arabs. They were during the, I don't know, nobody knows in any case how many centuries before Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, or how many centuries before, or even thousands of years before that, that Sayyidina Ibrahim came from Palestine. So Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam knows his lineage up to Adnan. There's 21 generations up to Adnan. So between Adnan and Ismail, nobody knows how many generations were there. But I think I told you all. Said Abdullah ibn Abdul Muttalib ibn Hashim ibn Abdul Manaf ibn Qus ibn Kilab ibn Murrah ibn Kab. So there's about 21 of those lineage up to Adnan, and between Adnan and Ismail we don't know. So the people from Yemen, they thousands of years of civilization. They came up. The tribes, the Aus and the Hajrats, they came up to Medina, so they stayed there. But so both of the Arabs, the Ansar from Medina, they were not originally from Saudi Arabia. Also, they were the original Arabs that lived in Yemen, in Oman, in all those places. Oman, there's one place we should go to actually. So you can see all the old fortresses. So if you look at the pictures of Oman, there's no building more than 3 stories. So they've got all these fortresses still there. So as you can see, the fortress, maybe I've moved on. I don't know. I move into where? Okay, I stopped to say the fortresses was massive fortresses and there was impressive buildings. So when Sayyidina Ali's sword broke, he went to the fortress and he unhinged the door from the fortress. And you know that fortresses is massive doors. So he was fighting it. So after that small battle, 7 people wanted to pick up the door. And again, this was sort of a small miracle that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allowed Sayyidina Ali to have a massive door of the fortress in his hand as a shield. So it must have been a few meters both sides. So after that, they came to the last fortress. So all the other people that ran away, they moved to the largest fortress at the end of Khaybar. So the Muslims were parking outside, and about 2 weeks went past, and then they said, we're going to surrender now. So after negotiations took place, and as I said, the Khaybar was very fertile land, and there was underground rivers that ran through Khaybar. So they had enough water, and they had the best of produce and stuff like that. So they started negotiating a settlement, for them, because they didn't want to surrender. So after a while, after long negotiation, they came to 4 points that because the people from Khaybar said the Muslims from Medina don't know how to farm this massive areas of land. Said, we're gonna keep 50% of the profit and we will give you 50%. Up till that time, that was the biggest amount of money that the Muslims will ever receive. So they, from the profit, from it was in the second agreement they came to, that the maintenance of the land will be done by the Muslims. They will use their own money to invest in the land and stuff like that. The people from Khaybar will just be the farmers and produce the land, sell that stuff, and half of the money will go to the Muslims. And then the third agreement, that the Muslims, because before that there was no treaty between the Muslims and the people from Khaybar. And the third point is that the Muslims can have that land as long as they want it. And then 30%. So it was only during Sayyidina Umar's time that they said, Muslims said, no, we are in charge now. We're gonna, as we said, we will. It is our prerogative to break the treaty. That was the agreement, that the Muslim can decide if they want to still keep the land. So after, how many is that now? 7, 8 years. Then the Jews from Khaybar left. They were allowed to leave and go to another place. So up till that time, so the whole of the whole of Central Arabia was under the Muslims now. In Khaybar, Up till that time, the Muslims used to say the first 7 years of that was the 7th years of of the Hijrah. After that time, they could never eat to their full. But after Khaybar, they had all the luxury and all the wealth and to have enough food for the whole families. And that was, as I remember when we discussed the ayahs of when we discussed Hudaybiyah, وَمَغَانِمَ كَثِيرًا يَأْخُذُونَهَا غِيمَة. That's a word for the booty. The Nabi and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala promised them, if they have Hudaybiyah, they agree to the Treaty of Hudaybiyah, they will have lots of wealth coming to them. So in terms of land, in terms of that was the biggest booty that the Muslims ever had. And after Hunayn, maybe it's the next battle that we will discuss in the future. But so in terms of land and stuff like that, that was the biggest win that the Muslims ever had. So when they returned to, so when the Jews surrendered, they said, we can prepare your food. And one of the tribes, they put in poison. They first asked, what is a favorite meat of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam? So they said the shoulder blade. So one of the one of the women of Khaybar, they poisoned the shoulder blade and in the whole food, but especially the poison, the poison part of it, especially the shoulder blade. And when Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam put the food in his mouth, the food spoke to him. That's all. That's again a miracle. The food said that the food is poison. So Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam spit it out. And but there was one Sahabi that swallowed it. So he got sick, and after a few days he passed away. But Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, up to his death, when a few weeks before he died, actually, he told Sayyidina Aisha that I can feel the pain. So that poison, immediately when the food was in his mouth, his body started to pain. But he could spit it out, so the poison didn't go straight into his body; it just went into his sort of his blood, the blood flow of the mouth. So about 2 months before he died, he said he told Sayyidina Aisha that poison of the food is getting to my heart now. I can feel the pain of the poison. So what happened in Khaybar was in there, of course, Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, his time was there, but that was a contributing factor to him dying. The food that was poisoned at Khaybar. He tells Sayyidina Aisha, I'm on my way out now because that poison of 4 years earlier is still in my body, and I can feel that it's getting to my heart now, and my heart is getting weaker and weaker. So that was part of his stuff. So, but Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, there's two stories sort of. If this woman was punished. The first one is to say that she was not punished, but there's another way to say that she was punished with death. So after 2 days, Bishr died, and the guy that swallowed the food. And so Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam forgave her, but when Bishr died, she was executed because for Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, he didn't swallow it himself, so he got free with it. So after that, Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam called the Jews and he said, I want to ask you 3 questions. The first question was, who is your ancestors? And of course, the Jews said something. Said, no, that's not your ancestor. This is your ancestor. So they said, now I'm going to ask you another question. Who will be in the fire of hell? He said, according to our scriptures, we're not very good Jews. We're not good followers of Musa, but we will go into hell for a few times, for a while, and then we'll get out of hell. But the Muslims will, the rest of the people will go into hell. Then Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, of course, that's not wrong and stuff like that. And there's a lot of discussions around that, but I'm just going to cut it short. Is to say, you can see already they were caught out in the first place to say who are the ancestor. But they still, in the second question, they still said the wrong answer, even if they knew. Because in their scriptures at that time, they said there will be a prophet after Musa. And they knew it. And the people from the tribes from Makkah, from the tribes from Medina, as I said last time during the battle of Banu Nadir, when they were expelled, they knew, Khuyay ibn Akhtar knew that in their scripture said that the person will be from that area and he will be the prophet. No, he will be the last prophet. So they knew it. But they said, even if we give you the wrong answer, now that you know, so we know that you are a prophet. So you can see some sort of the arrogance. They up till the last end, they knew if they're going to give the wrong answer, and Jabril will inform Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam that that is not the proper answer to give. So that is how they kept the land. So just another two things, because Saad is going to leave quickly. The people from as I discussed, the people that went on to Hijrah to Abyssinia. During that battle, they came back. Ja'far ibn Talib was the leader of the people that went to Abyssinia, and on that day, the conquer of Khaybar, they also returned. So the first time that Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam saw his companions about 10 years time, and Ja'far died very tragically later, but we will get back to them. So when they were back in Medina, I'm just gonna so maybe say that's first. No, okay, no, I was no, it's together. Hafsa, the daughter of Sayyidina Umar, Sayyidina Abu Bakr, Hadijatun wa Saudatun wa Hafsatun bin Umar. Yeah, it's a daughter of Sayyidina Umar. Asma bint Unais was one of the people that went on for the hijrah to Abyssinia. So she went to visit her friend Asma, she was friends in Makkah with. So when Sayyidina Umar came in, he asked, who is this woman sitting here? She said, I'm Asma bint Unais. He said, oh, you are the way fairer lady. So he was tongue in the cheek and stuff like that. But he said that we are more valuable to the Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam than the people from Medina, the people that went Abyssinia, because we went on a hijrah, and we are more, we've got more right on Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. So Hafsa, Asma bint Unais blow a casket, and she was very angry with Sayyidina Umar. Why can he say that the people that went on to hijrah, they stayed behind in Makkah and went to hijrah, they've got more right on Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. So he said, now I will go to the Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam immediately now. And said, I'm not going to eat and drink for the next time until I see Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. When she got to him, he was speaking to people, and she relayed the story. And Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam told her, no, nobody's got more right over me than the people from Abyssinia. The people from Makkah then went on this. He said, then he told her the story that the people from Abyssinia went on to 2 hijras. They went into Abyssinia, and they took the hijrah from Abyssinia too. So they are better off. They've got more reward because they did 2 hijras. And Asma bin Uwais was very happy. She went on to all the people, 70 or 80 people from that went to Abyssinia. They came to a house that day and were sitting that day, and everyone wanted to hear the story straight from her. That Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said that the people from Makkah to Medina took 2 hijras, and they took 1 hijrah, but they were on 2 hijras. They went to Abyssinia and they came back. So every 70 or 80 of the people that stayed in Abyssinia, they came to the house of Usma ibn Unais to hear the story of how they are more valuable than the people that went onto 1 hijrah. They were rewarded for 2 hijras, not 1 hijrah. So the people from Abyssinia, they were very, very happy. And in any case, the people from the people that came back, they also received the word from Khaybar. When the booty was handed out, they were also among the beneficiaries of the booty from Khaybar. And then maybe the last one is now to say during that time, Ramla. Ramla was the daughter of Abu Sufyan. And she also went on. Abu Sufyan is the main Quraysh, the Quraysh leader in Makkah. She was the daughter of, she went on. So her husband passed away while they were in Abyssinia. And when Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam heard that the husband, so he sent a proposal to her while she was in Abyssinia. And Najasi, the king of Abyssinia, he paid the dowry on behalf of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Ramla, yeah. So there's another wedding that took place. So, but in any case, the wives of the Prophet, there's some disagreement on how many wives there was. Some said 11. I said no. صلوا على محمد صلى على خير البشر وعلى بيوت على انقل في مرعون جسدها حديجة وسودة وحفصة بنت عمر عاشية ورملة. So Ramla was a عاشية حديجة وسودة وحفصة بنت عمر عاشية ورملة. So it was a sixth wife sort of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. So the other wives, so Bint Khuzaima, Zainab bint Jash, Zainab bint Khuzaima, she got also first married in Hindu Amaltania. But how many we have discussed already? We discussed a few, na? حديجة وسودة وحفصة بنت عمر عاشية ورملة ميمونة صفية وهند أمتانية. Hind is Salama, and I think we told the story of Salama already. So there's only 2 or 3 wives that we have to still discuss. Is also the one is sort of a disagreement on most of the scholars is Maryam al-Qibtiyah. Maryam al-Qibtiyah is a Maryam the Copt from Egypt. She was a Christian woman that Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam married. But in most of the sources, they're not going to include Maryam al-Qibtiyah and no Maryam the Copt. They not there's because there's some, but I'll give the story also. So the 2 other wives that we still have to discuss, because we discussed this, we discussed Khadija, but we know the story of Khadija. Hafsa, Khadija was Sauda. Sauda was the old woman that Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam married while he was still in Makkah. Hafsa, Khadija was Sauda too. Hafsa was a daughter of Sayyidina Umar. Aisha, no, Aisha, maybe we can give a few lectures on Aisha. We discussed Hind, Salama, Bint Khuzaima, Zainab bint Khuzaima, when after the Battle of Mustalik, when the whole tribe became Muslim, because when Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam married Zainab. But the 2 that we still have to discuss is just Zainab bint Jash. That's one of the controversial issues also. No, of the Seerah. Zainab bint Jash and Maryam al-Qibtiyah. That will maybe in 2 or 3 weeks time. I'm going to discuss that 2 wives of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. So yeah, that's the story. Basically, I'm just going to give a few things about Hudaybiyah. But no, I'm going to no. There's another story about Khaybar, but I don't think it's so important. So I will jump next week into Zainab bint Jash, the story of Zainab bint Jash. Why it's so controversial? But if you listen to the story, you will realize it's not so controversial. But it's how people that are against the Muslims, how they use that story to create some displeasure, or they want to create mischief on why Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam married Zainab bint Jash. She was married to Zayd ibn Haritha, the person that was living in Nabi. I told the story about the slave that Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam bought from Yemen. And his father came to fetch him in Makkah, but then he told his father, I want to stay with Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam because he's been good to me. So that is she was Zainab bint Jash was married to Zayd ibn Haritha. But we will come to the story next week, inshallah. بارك الله في القرآن العظيم ونفعني وإياكم بالآيات وذكر الحكيم. أقول قولي هذا أستغفر الله ولي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين فاستغفروا إنه هو الغفور الرحيم.